How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, I have used this thumbnail here, and it says Rites of Passage. And I have often talked about the treatment of our royal sons in America, and that other races in America have some type of ritual that they go through to introduce their boys to manhood. But we all know here in America that is a whole different deal. And the rites of passage that our royal sons experience here in America, we often see situations like this. Any time the enemy has an opportunity to unleash their aggressions, they're going to do it to our royals outright, because we are fully all under siege. But right now we're just going to specifically focus on our royal sons. So I was seeing an article here in Atlanta Black Star. I'm not going to read it all or read the necessary parts, but it said here it was really hard to see video showing DC officers stop and frisk 3 young black children sparked outrage. And basically, I'm glad that this lady filmed this. Ariel Gore, who recorded the video, said that the boys looked to be between the ages of 9 to 12. One clip shows the children being confronted by 3 officers after an elderly man called police claiming 3 young people had threatened him and brandish a knife. So as we go down here, my royal family, the boys, from what I was hearing, were saying that that's not how the story went, and that actually the man was threatening to hurt them, Gore told the station. And we will hear her interview too as well. So me being the type of person, I don't go by the first thing that I see. I got another article that I'm going to pick apart. Anyway, as we continue on. In the video, an officer is heard trying to confront one of the boys, telling him it's going to be okay. Just as the matter seemed to be resolved, Gore said 4 more officers arrived at the scene, stopped the boys again, and started to pat them down. So now there's 7 cops on 3 little boys. They ain't even teenagers yet, but they black. So here is the hypervia. Then she said, I think that from what it was really hard to see, she added, they were so little and their bodies are, oops, this shit is jumping around. That's crazy. Let me see. They were so little and their bodies are just so small. Their pockets are being dug into. Their legs are being touched. I think it just seems probably a little bit scary of moment, a little bit of a scary moment for them. I felt scared and sad for them. So I started doing a little digging, and I'm gonna play this video, and then I'm going to read the next article, and then I got another video. I don't think I'll show it all because we see the same repetitive shit, but I'm gonna point something out. So let me blow this up.
Black boys and 7 police officers. The video shows a group of young children there being stopped and frisked in Southeast D.C. just days before Christmas, and people, they're fired up about it. The video got hundreds of shares and reactions on Facebook, and our Michael Quander, he spoke to the woman who caught it all on camera in an interview you're only going to see right here on WUSA 9.
If you want. DC police stopped these 3 children on East Street in Southeast Saturday.
Started recording with my phone.
Ariel Gorey said the boys were between 9 and 12 years old. You can see 3 officers here questioning them after an elderly man called police saying 3 young people threatened him and pulled out a knife right here at this CVS down the street.
The boys, from what I was hearing, were saying that that's not how the story went and that actually the man was threatening to hurt them.
But just when Gorey says it appeared the situation was being resolved, 4 more officers rolled up, stopped the boys again, and then frisked them.
I think that for me it was really hard to see. They were so little, and so their bodies are just so small, and their pockets are being, dug into, and their little legs are being touched.
Gorey then posted this video on Facebook where it was shared more than 700 times and got dozens of comments. One person said the situation showed layers of racism and oppression, and another person said simply shame.
You're going to have some people who say that at the end of the day, police got a report that says that some young guys were threatening an old man with a knife. So what are police supposed to do? What do you say to those people?
I think that this response maybe, yes, followed the rules that have been set in place for our officers. When asked then what are they supposed to do, I think it's not about those individual officers, something that needs to necessarily change. It's the system in which they exist.
No, at the end of the day, police didn't find any weapons. Those boys were released to their family members, and no charges are expected to be filed. Reporting in Southeast D.C., I'm Michael Quander, WUSA 9.
Now, we should add as well that police say the man who filed that report did not want to press charges once they arrived. And again, police never found any weapons on those young kids.
These people always lying on our royals. They got a bad habit of the shit. And then when it don't pan out in their favor, I don't want to press charges. Charges need to be pressed against him because that was an outright lie. Now, I'm just guessing. He probably said something foul to the kids, and they probably said, fuck you. We know our royals. They probably said something back. And the police lack common sense. They lack it. Remember this, my royal family. When they see our royals, they always make them bigger than what they is. Anytime that they see us through their lenses, we're much bigger, we're much stronger, and all of that. They are definitely afraid of us. But we see that it was some of our own too as well doing this. And it's like, where the fuck is they gonna hide a knife at? Now, as I started doing my deeper research, I found another article. And in this article, this is the shit that pissed me off before I play this video. Let's see, let's dig through this. Here it is. 3 boys, 7 officers. Gore said the 3 officers who initially stopped the boys suggested that they go back to CVS to apologize to the man. That's some bullshit. The officers concluded that the situation was likely a misunderstanding and that heading to CVS to essentially clear the air was the next best step. Wow. Anyway, however, let me skip this. However, the officers accompanied the boys. 4 more officers stopped the group outside, Frager's Hardware, where the boys were questioned for an additional 45 minutes. It was frightening and it seemed excessive, Gore said, adding that the boys seemed worried and scared and that one cried as he was detained. See, that's right, the rites of passage. The 3 boys were ultimately released to family members after being in police custody for over an hour. Wow. And then, oh Lord, I ain't gonna even go about this shit about they reviewing in the incident. They ain't doing shit. The police report notes that all 3 boys were subject to a pat down, but no weapons were found. The man identified as a victim in the incident did not want to press charges. So it was an elderly, most likely, positively, a white man. What was he gonna press? There wasn't no gun. So our royal children are so fucking dumb. They gonna pull a knife out their ass and brandish it at a white man that said something to him. And this is what got me. Before I play this video. Somebody put up here, Tony Morton said, let me click this right here, because y'all probably can't see it. This was a brother. He said, as an officer, I deal with this a lot. Unfortunately, citizens calling the police on black kids because they hate the sight of black kids. Calling and making up some story saying that a black kid has a gun and the police race over the with nothing found, and kids traumatized. SMH, which means shake my head. Citizens need to be accountable, and also not just police who do wrong. I agree with him. I totally agree with him. So let's watch a bit of this fuckery.
If you want. No. Yeah, so. Hey, bud, it's okay. Bud, it's okay. Where do you live? Where do y'all live? I'm supposed to be at the ball shop. He's at the CVS. He was walking. I don't know. You just showed me. I don't know. He just kept saying stuff. He's like, I'm stop here. He thought we was following us. He's like, if y'all keep following y'all. I was like, we not going up until he said he thought you were following us? He said he was he has a complaint?
Here's the excessive bullshit. Now it looks like they at the store here. All right, my royal family, you get the gist of it. And like I said, anytime that they can get an opportunity, and it doesn't matter the race of the police officer, most likely because they have the same mentality and all. Anytime that they can get an opportunity to traumatize our royals, they're going to detain them as long as possible. And like I said on the last video about our royal son getting kicked in the back by a beast, we are under full siege. The other part I would like to add too, as I go over here, that we do need to, in our individual families, come up with something for rites of passage for our royal sons. It's whatever our individual families want to do, or if you got a solid community, the kings can come together and introduce our royal sons to manhood. And then on top of that, we have to repeatedly tell them that they are under full siege, and this is what they have to deal with. I have 2 royal sons, and they have had to deal with this shit also. And it is utterly disgusting. It is not surprising. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If it is all possible, homeschool your royals. And like I always see in the worst situations the beauty in something, or I call it the but factor. As the police and these people continue to do what they do in this system, we are having to make decisions. And there are some of us that are hoping that the enemy will just leave us alone, which they're not going to do it. I'm finding that we're going to have to, what I talk about, that natural thing, because of what they do is something that we're going to have to do, because it affects our psyche when our royals are traumatized like this and they carry this shit for a lifetime. We're at that point. We've been at that point, at that breaking point, and there's less trauma that it is our duty and responsibility to minimize of our royals. We need to do it. We need to constantly tell them about this system. Like I said, I'm one of the royals that my father stayed on me. That's why I can tell y'all about this system. I'm not delusional about this system. I'm not delusional about who is my true enemy. And I know how to deal with the enemy. Like I said, I'm always full tilt, ready for war. And our royal sons and daughters too as well, we all got to watch our back. They don't care how young or how old. So my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love and I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.